Hey everyone, we're back again. This time, we had some conversations in the Telegram, in the English Telegram, and we got some really good questions, some difficult questions, but good questions. And someone brought up that we should do an AMA, so here you go. This is it. So these are questions that are sourced from the community, and we're going to answer them in Ask Me Anything format. So take it away, Wei.
So we have 7 main questions today. I will answer. So first we have, are you still developing 2FA?
Yeah, two-factor authentication. We started developing a long time ago, and it was mainly, it was partially a solution because we were getting fake signups for airdrops. So two-factor authentication is when we send an SMS to a phone. So it's one user, one device, basically. So we're checking to make sure each user with an email address is connected to one telephone number. But it was taking a bit of time because we have to redesign our login system for our backend too, because the backend isn't necessarily connected to a phone. So it's actually a bit complicated, and we thought it would be more effective to focus on KYC, and we thought that was more important. So we put two-factor authentication on pause while we developed the KYC system. Our KYC system is much more sophisticated than two-factor authentication, and the KYC system ensures that there's a passport connected to a user now, so we can prevent fake signups that way. So we put resources into developing KYC, and we put two-factor authentication on pause. We will develop it eventually, but it's a very low priority at this point because we're rushing to get a couple of other big features out.
So next, can we expect more airdrops?
Airdrops, yeah. So originally airdrops were, airdrops are marketing, right? They're marketing for the blockchain age. So we were using it as a way for projects on Zilla to garner attention from you, the user. But we found that people were complaining that the airdrop amounts weren't large enough, or they weren't getting the airdrops fast enough. And for us, that's fine. But for the projects that were providing the airdrops, they were getting a bit upset. And not only that, they weren't as effective that we would hope that they would be. Now, there's still some things that we want to do to tweak the airdrops to see if we can make them more effective. I guess this is a long answer, but the short answer is yes, we will do a few more airdrops, and we have one going right now, actually, for a US dollar stablecoin for people who sign up. So we will do that, but that's from us. That's not from teams on Zilla. There's still a couple of teams who are interested in doing airdrops through us to you, the community, but that's probably going to be in December sometime, if we do it at all. So there will be more, but they'll be a bit more spread out. They won't be weekly or monthly or anything like that. So we'll do them from time to time. And of course, we're testing, we're looking at analytics, and we're seeing how effective they are, and that's the most important thing.
So when can we expect Zilla Black? What additional features are you working on?
So ZILLA Black and additional features. ZILLA Black is supposed to be for Zilla users, especially people who participated in our crowd sale. They got grandfathered in to ZILLA Black, and we are still developing additional features and stuff for ZILLA Black users specifically, but it's taking a long time. B, the ICO market is kind of sliding a little bit, so we're taking a broader look at ZILLA Black and seeing how we can, like for example, when we release additional features, can we give our ICO participants, in other words, ZILLA Black users, a special benefit somehow. So you will see we have a really big release coming up soon, probably early next month or the end of this month, and we're thinking about how to incorporate ZILLA Black into that release. It will happen, but we probably won't announce how we will incorporate ZILLA Black initially, but we're thinking about it, and we're definitely going to develop some special features for ZILLA Black. Are there additional features coming? Yeah, of course. We're developing a ton of new features for both the user and for teams who are listing on Zilla. We still haven't released the translation function yet. That's very important because then our Japanese or Chinese and Korean users can see projects in their native languages. So that's definitely high priority for us. We used to be very open with our new features, but actually we were getting copied when we did that. So we've kind of had to close it up a bit. And remember, everything we do is in Japanese, Chinese, Korean, and English. So, you know, there's a lot of teams who are watching what we do, and some are definitely picking away features that we're announcing. So we've taken a step back and we decided not to announce new features unless it's imminent, unless like the feature will be released within a week and a half or so. So bear with us in that respect.
The next one's about KYC. So KYC requires passport, but will any other forms of ID be supported?
So if we use regional KYC providers, like KYC providers in Europe or KYC providers in the US or South America, Southeast Asia, Africa, for example, then we can provide other sorts of documentation, but it's extremely hard to integrate, you know, those KYC providers all around the world with different fees, different APIs, no APIs in some case. So it's just it's not really possible. It's hard enough to implement KYC and accept passport, but to do, you know, local licenses or ID cards is pretty much impossible. So we probably won't in the near future.
So what's up with GD tokens?
GD tokens, yeah. So again, this kind of goes along with the ZILLA Black question. The GD token, so ZILLA Black are for people who participated in our ICO, and GD tokens are you know, people who held on to the token, to our ZILLA token. So we haven't released the feature that will that will benefit ZD token holders yet, but that's definitely in the pipeline. It's coming. We have other things that kind of are priority ahead of that, but they all kind of tie in together. It's funny, like all this will make sense in hindsight, but I'm sort of speaking in the abstract because you don't know which features are coming, but it's definitely, we haven't forgotten about it. I mean, you know, we enjoy GD token. We think it's a novel idea. We think the badge that it enables is really cool, but it's going to take time. We have limited developers. I mean, we've got a ton of developers, but you know, it's very hard. Every pixel has to be designed and implemented, so things just take a long time.
Thanks. When will you get bigger ICOs? Are ICOs still signing up for ZILLA?
So, okay, ICOs are still signing up for sure, and they tend to be a bit more sophisticated teams. So they're companies who may have a user base or may have been in business, or you know, definitely not first-time entrepreneurs. Those type of bit more mature, a bit more thought out go-to-market strategy, for example. So they're signing up, but it's definitely decreased. The market, as you know, is, especially like today, it's gone to hell. So there's less ICOs, but there's still new ICOs signing up to ZILLA. We're still approaching new ICOs. They're still approaching us. So when will we get, what was it, bigger ICOs, I guess?
Yeah.
That's such a silly question. That's like asking, like, I mean, they all start somewhere, and you want to find them when they're small. It's like music or a band, right? If you're asking like, what's the next big, you know, hip hop artist? Well, I'm showing them to you, but if you only see them when they're in the top 10 or when they're Eminem, then that's stupid. You have to do research. I can't spoon feed you, you know, projects. Like the projects that are on ZILLA, like we had For example, Asobi Coin, I don't know if you guys looked at that. They're an established company. They're a game company. They have big games. They're in Japan. Huge team, hundreds of employees. You've got there's projects on Zilla now that are existing companies that are good. They have products out already, and in their area they have a huge following. So you need to go out and research those. There's ICOs are interesting because there's pockets. You know, I have friends who I speak with quite often who talk about ICOs. Like, hey, what about this project? What do you think about them? I've never heard of them. But if you click their website once, you're retargeted on Facebook, and then you see them on YouTube, and you see them here, and you see them there. And it seems like they're everywhere, but they're not actually. They're just pockets. There's no way an ICO can reach everybody around the world. I mean, there's projects I didn't know about until it was very late, like for example, Basic Attention Token. Like I heard about that right before their ICO. Whereas like Binance, I heard from right away because it was kind of in my group. Most people didn't, so it just depends. Like Cardano, I heard about them briefly before, around the time of their ICO, and then didn't hear about them, and then they were listed, and then for most people it came out of nowhere, but they had a huge following out here. So it just depends. You have to take the time and learn about projects, and if you think they're good, participate in them. That's just the way it is.
So people noticed our Zilla slogan and branding has changed. What's the focus now, and will there be a revised white paper?
Yeah, so first off, there will not be a revised white paper. Whenever we change, there's hundreds of changes that we've made in strategy and how our system works since our crowd sale. We can't change our white paper every time we do that. That's ridiculous, and no one reads it, first of all. So no, but we changed the website, and you can tell I like it better. It's just preference, really. But as we add functionalities to Zilla, of course, the not the slogan, but the catch copy will change. That's just the way it is. Like, we launched the wallet, so we have to include the wallet in all of this now. It's not just about only ICOs, and as we launch other features, we have to be inclusive of those other features also. Also, getting approved with Apple, if you guys have been with us for a long time, you know how difficult that process was. And it's really about how we frame the company and how we frame what we do. So initially, as I suspect, it was very difficult for us to get approved because we listed ICO everywhere. But if we just said, for example, blockchain crowdfunding app, I think we would have gotten approved right away. So going forward, I think we're putting a bit more thought into what Google, what Apple, and not just the Google Play Store, but like Google Ads or Facebook Ads. What they pick up in our ad. If we say ICO everywhere, we get rejected right away. But if we say, crypto asset marketplace, then not so much. So, yeah, definitely, we're testing, we're tweaking what we say. That's in 4 languages. Remember, so it's very difficult. It takes a long time, but we test it. We see what data comes back, what works, and then we change. That's how a modern startup works. So. Any more questions?
Yeah, this is all we have.
All right.
So, yeah, if there are any more questions, please send them to us on Telegram. And
yeah, so don't forget, we've got this bounty going on. It's nice, it's big, it's extremely generous. We're giving away a lot of money. We also have an airdrop, of course, the 4 stable coins, TUSD, GUSD, USDC, and PAX. We've also got this Bitcoin white paper. Yeah, you can see it's huge. And we've got it in what, 4 colors?
4 colors, 4 different languages.
4 languages. It was very hard to make, but yeah, it's nice. It's free, so print it out, put it up, and show your significant other like the white paper that kind of changed all of our lives. All right. So if there's any more questions, yeah, keep them coming. we like this, and
Yeah, we'll do it regularly from now.
yep, next time she's answering the question.
And this time I'll remember to say bye.
All right, see ya.
Okay, bye.
Bye.